Hello, hello, good morning. Lorraine Sish here with coffee and a card. My laptop camera is not being recognized by my streaming software like it usually is recognizing it, and I could do 2 views. But anyway, I had my sunshine cup trying to stay positive. You can't see my face today. Yeah, I'm wearing my Stampin' Up shirt and brushed my hair and did my makeup and everything for you. But oh well, just gotta be the sunshine and keep smiling and moving on, right? All right. Well, we'll wait a couple minutes for some people to join on. Please leave a comment, say hello if you're watching live. And if you are watching the replay, thank you for watching this later. I am streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. So, Facebook last several months now tells us that after 30 days, our videos will be deleted. So if you're looking for something older than 30 days and you typically watch on Facebook, then please just look on YouTube. You can find all my videos there also. And it's probably a little bit easier because they are just all in a line right there, all my videos. Otherwise you kind of have to feed through some posts and whatever. So I'm sorry, I'm not, you can't see me face to face, but this is what's important. Not the coffee, although that can help, but desktop where I'm going to be doing the projects, right? Okay, good morning, Debbie. Okay, still in Arizona. Good for you. Stay warm, my friend. Good morning, Nadine. All right. So, yeah, coffee and a card. We are going to be working with the patterned tags die set today. All right, and this is in the winter, the October to December mini catalog on patterned tags is what it's called. And yeah, you can make some great tags, and I'm going to show you some ways to use that. But you can also just make the tag your focal point on a card as well, right? So take a sip of your beverage and we'll get started. Good morning, Gail. Nice to see you. Gail, we have to chat. I'm going to try calling you this weekend. Okay, Debbie, do you have this die set? Or Gail, does anybody watching have this die set? Let me know. And if you are watching the replay, you can answer questions too. I will respond to them. Please leave comments on Facebook or YouTube. I love hearing your thoughts and ideas and what you like or what you would like to see more of. I'm proud to say that I am, I think as of this morning, about 27 or 29, less than 30 subscribers away from my 22,000 subscribers on YouTube. Is that amazing? I just can't believe that myself. So, who would have thought? So my goal was to try to do that before the end of the year or my Stampin' anniversary, which is coming up in January, where I'll be 23 years a demonstrator. So 22,000 subscribers in my 22 years of being a demonstrator is kind of a fun correlation of numbers, right? So, yeah, so that's fine. Please share, and maybe I can get to that sooner. That's just a fun goal. That's all. Nice to have some goals, right? All right, so Gail doesn't have it yet. All right, so we're going to see. Yeah, that's right. Nadine and Gail have met each other. Yep. All right, let's see what we can do here. You have 4 dies that are going to make the tag. You can obviously see that shape, right? And you have this little piece that can look like a ribbon or something that's wrapped around the top. And then you have this piece that is actually 3 pieces. It's a single bow and then another loop that you can make it a double bow. I should leave it just like that so you can see it better. And then this teeny piece here, first I missed it. That actually can go right in the middle of the bow and look like it's the ribbon that's wrapped around the center when you tie a knot. It actually even has a little split, or it looks like the ribbon is bunched up a little bit there. So really kind of neat. It's teeny tiny. So it's a little tricky to work with. I use my tweezers to work with that one, but I will show you how that goes. And I do suggest using adhesive sheets with that, because trying to get glue on that is tricky. So let's get started. Obviously, you can use the open part on its own. Oh my gosh, talking about going down a rabbit hole last night. I was just got started on all these possibilities, and it just goes on and on. So I suggest taking these pieces and just die cutting a whole bunch of them, different colors, and then just mixing and matching them together. Really, really neat. Okay, here's an old olive. So I have different shades of green here. I have a petal pink I'm going to show you. Now here's one I put together for another project. I wanted to see what it looks like combining just the background and the same color. This is Mossy Meadow, the same color dye with the pine branches on it. And this is how that came out. It looks really neat. On the camera, it looks like it's embossed, except kind of reverse, where the pine branches are going inward. And then obviously, when you die cut that to use this as a tag, then you are also left with the actual pine branches that you can use on a card for your focal points. And I've done some in old olive. Oh, that's no, that's Mossy Meadow. All right, yeah, so I did Mossy Meadow, and I've done some in white. This can look like snowy branches. Use them just white on the card, or layer them and offset it slightly, and it looks like snow on the pine branch. So that's kind of cool. Kind of get two in one. Double your fun. Well, that was double mint gum, right? Remember, if you're from my generation, remember that. Okay, so then our other pieces, okay, the pieces that cut out the detail, we have some with the pine branches. We have some with the diagonal stripes that look sort of candy cane-ish. And there are some with the poinsettia flowers. All right, so kind of like that. And mixing and matching these, so much fun. So here's one I did with the pine detail in the white. Okay, hello Susan, nice to see you on today. And layering it on the spruce, shaded spruce, those pine branches really show up as green pine branches, right? So you can choose to kind of leave these, tie these together with a ribbon so that they kind of hang and kind of swing together, or you can glue it down. Probably with something this delicate, it might be a good idea to glue it down, but you know, certainly you can have it however you like. So I'm going to glue that down right now. You can either do this with adhesive sheets on the back, or there are some wide areas here that you can get some glue on. I like especially to get it around the edges and the corners. So if you're coming on late, sorry, I don't have my other view up, but more important for you to see the project than my face. I know there was something going on with my software. You know I've been able to do this, show my face screen, but lately it was first doing it for just my recorded videos, but now it's doing it for my live also. Ay. I've tried starting and uh, shutting down and restarting the computer. I check for updates. I think I'm going to have to call the company and say, hey, what's going on? All right, now these tags they have stitching on them. When I cover it up this way, you see some of the stitching through there, but not much. And actually I can see too much of the stitching. So what I like to do is flip it over. The stitching part is more subtle. So when I cover that up, I don't see bits of it poking through where the pine branches are. But then when you turn it over, you do enjoy the look of that stitching. It looks a little bit more finished that way. So you can leave that just as a tag, and we can put a label, something on the back that says to and from. You can do that in white, obviously. And then we can also put a lovely ribbon on the top here. This is the shaded spruce with the gold edge. And multiple ways you can tie your bow. You can feed it through and just tie a big bow on the top, or you can fold it in half, fold this down to a point so that you can feed it through the hole. Gather it up. It's very soft ribbon. Even though it's wide, it's very soft and it gathers super nicely. So I'll cut off a decent amount, not knowing exactly how much I need, and then I will trim it later. So just feed that through the loop and pull it up gently so you don't tear your paper. And then you can kind of work it so that it lays the way you like. Okay, so I'm pulling one, then the other. All right, so obviously I had a lot here I'm going to trim off, but it's okay because you need some to work with. And as you're working with it, it can fray a little bit. I was working with that one a lot, so you can see that. So you want to cut fresh anyway. Okay, and so that's really pretty that way. Okay, a big difference here, right? Another thought to make this stand out a little bit more is to take your blending brush. And obviously I would have done this before I put the ribbon on, but I like to compare and contrast and see, how everything works. You can take a little bit of your Mossy Meadow ink. And go over the top very gently so that you don't pull up those edges of the pine, but I think I kind of glued them down pretty well. Okay, yeah, this is the ink pad that I have to freshen up with some re-inker. So if I make the top part a little bit darker, I don't know if you can see a difference on the camera, but oh yeah, you can. I can see it better on the camera than I can in person. How about that? And in nature, it's not all so even anyway, so I don't mind it looking a little more shaded in some areas. Oh, that's a little extreme, but I can even all that out. But you can see the difference, right? Okay, so you can see how I made that a little bit darker and it's a little bit lighter on the inside, so that shows up. All right, so let's take another one. Let me put this away. And instead of doing the same color, we could do two-tone. So here I have the Mossy Meadow on the Old Olive, and that shows up much better if you're really looking for a more striking contrast between the two, right? And then we can tie that together. Let's see, maybe this one, I'm going to glue it down also because this is very delicate. And another good thing for using the adhesive sheets on the back of this is then all the little pine branches will also have the adhesive sheet on the back, and those really could use it because they're tiny. So next time I will probably do that. And because of the adhesive sheet adds thickness, I would run it back and forth in the cut and emboss machine a couple times to make sure it cuts through. Just the forward and back because it's going to be thicker than just the cardstock, right? Oops, I put it on the front side. I should have put it on the back. That's okay. It's all right. All right. And then let's put the gold ribbon on this one. Let it shine. So you can fold it or you can cut a point depending on how thick or heavy your ribbon is. And this one I think will make a bow. I think that will look really pretty. First, let me do this. All right, my formula for bow tying. I'm going to hold it sideways, horizontally. I'm going to go left over the right and under. Now my loose end is down. Okay, the part that's down, I'm going to make my first loop with. Now this is the determining factor as to if your bow is going to go parallel to the way you had your ribbon first or perpendicular. If you want it parallel, it's the same direction, so I'm calling that, we're going to do it clockwise. Counter means opposite, right? So if you want to go the opposite way of your original ribbon, then you go counterclockwise. Okay, so think of it that way. Okay, if you want opposite, go counter. If you want it the same, do it the regular clockwise, right? Clockwise is kind of like normal way. Oh, so this, you have to think about this a minute. So I want this to go counterclockwise. I'm going to go around this way. Come on. Slippery ribbon. And then pull it through over here. This is from the Celebratory Sips collection, this ribbon. It's gold striped ribbon. Okay, now see what I mean? It's going in the direction that I wanted it. Look how elegant that looks. And if I pull it, I'll just adjust it a little bit. And voila. There we go. And I like the longer pieces hanging down. Just like to cut those at an angle. Okay, and now you don't have to use them just for tags. You can turn those into cards, obviously. So that can be your focal point on a card as well. Oh my gosh, this looks huge. I don't know why, it just looks so big to me today. Maybe because I was working with a lot of these narrow tags. But yep, that's my regular card base there. All right, so then we can decorate the front of this card. Let's take, I had an embossing folder that, all right, let's use this one here. Beautiful pattern. Okay, I've been using this before, so it'll be fine. Oh, you know what might look nice on here is the plaid. Ooh. Okay, that's tucked away in my drawer across the room, so I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to take a 5 1/4 by 4 layer and put that in my beautiful pattern. That's the name of it, not my description. Okay, beautiful pattern embossing folder. Now this one has a very regular shape to it. So I'm going to make sure I get my paper perfectly aligned in there, both so that those diamonds are parallel and perpendicular, and I'm going to make sure I'm in the same place on either side. So this paper fits right in the point of these diamonds and these diamonds, so I'm kind of centered. Right, we'll run that through the emboss machine. I need a bigger work area. Actually, I need to clean up my work area so I have more workspace. So when you're making your sandwich for your 3D embossing folders, you need plate number 1, which is the big one, embossing folder with the paper in it, and then the gray number 4 plate. So there we are. Even these, I tell you to go a little bit on an angle so that it fits, it goes through the rollers a little bit more smoothly, and you're not going to get that big kerplunk as you're rolling through. I had a snowflake folder. To be honest, I'm not sure if that one's retired. It might be retired now. I don't know. The falling snow. I don't remember, but this looks really pretty as well. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down. Actually, I might want to use let me think here. Let me see. No, you know what? I'm just going to start with that. We'll glue this down and we'll add to it in a little bit. But it's very elegant, isn't it? So pretty. Okay, thanks, Susan. Actually, Susan, which tip were you referring to? I didn't see when you put your comment up. Was that the bow tying? Or the embossing folder tip? Okay, I am going to just pop that up with some dimensionals. And we can add a sentiment. We have a lovely card, I think. Simple, simple. As long as you have your dies and embossing machine. Oh, tying the bows. Thank you. Yeah, I've kind of actually sat and analyzed it one day because I've seen some people say, oh, just hold your paper upside down and tie it. Well, that's not, you know, in all due respect, that's not really the idea, because some people make the bow with their right hand, or they typically will turn clockwise, or they'll typically turn counterclockwise. It's more, you know, step-by-step scientific in a way, you know. So anyway, that's how it goes. So now we can add a little sentiment across there or down here, and we can pop it with another color if we want. I don't think I'm going to like this. No, I don't like that. So I'm just going to put something across here like this. Keep it plain and simple. And I have today, I have a variety of things here. Let's see what fits. Let's see. Well, I'm going to see if just this piece works on there. And I think I might even have a smaller little label. I have a bunch of these just in a bin next to me. Nope, that's vanilla. Never mind. And that's vanilla. Okay, we're going to go with this. And I'm only going to ink up piece. And then I'm going to cut the other end. Okay. So when we have red rubber stamps, it was easy and appropriate to use our Stampin' Up markers to color just the piece of piece that we want. It doesn't work that well with the photopolymer because the ink in the markers slightly different than what's on our ink pads. So I'm going to just hold this against the edge of my ink pad, make sure I don't get that comma, and if I do, I can always rub it off. So it would look really nice. I'm not going to take the time, but it would look really nice to do this embossed in golds, wouldn't it? Okay, so I'm just going to go on the edge of my pad. Try not to get that comma there. And I am going to practice on a scrap piece of paper. All right, so here. Okay, pretty good. I need a little bit more ink on the E. So sometimes moving your stamp around on different parts of your ink pad, especially the edges and the corners, because we tend to stamp more in the middle, right? So the middle is what usually dries out first. I'm going to make sure I get that E and make sure I don't have the comma. Right, not a huge deal. Yeah, it could be better. I'll try one more time. Flip it over. There's always two sides to the paper. This might be better. Yeah, that's better. Okay, then I'm going to cut the other side as a banner. I'm going to cut it straight first, trying to find the same amount of space from the edge down to there. It looks, yeah, just as I suspected, about 1/4 of an inch. So I'll do that here. And then to cut your banner, I mean, that could look okay too if I had cut it properly, but I'm going to want a banner cut on both sides. So you cut down the middle, and then you go from the corners to where that cut is. And that's how you get it straight. Kind of, sort of. Oh, come on. Just jammed my ink here. All right. So I'm going to glue this onto the tag, and I'm going to put a dimensional on this side so everything is the same layer. Making sure I'm doing the proper side and not the side that didn't come out so well. Okay, I'm going to hold that there. And beautiful. Let's just put a little bit of bling, extra bling on there by using the gold gems from the Kintsugi collection, flower accents. I've said this before. I've used these on things not intending them to be flowers. They just look like radiating lines to me at quick glance. If you look real close, yeah, you could say, yeah, I guess that could be a flower. Could be a daisy. But I'm using them for anything. So let's put just a couple of gems here, a big and a small. I want to do 3s. We can do, I'll put one over here. Go clean and simple, right? you like those kind of cards, then there you go. Super, right? Do you like that? Okay. Oh, hi, Lydia. Good morning. That's okay. I'd like to see you whenever you show up. That's fine. Okay. Lydia and I had a lovely day yesterday. Lydia is part of the Daisy team, as is Susan. That's how they know each other. Haven't met in person, but they've been on meetings together we had a team meeting just last Thursday, talking about a lot of the things that are going on with Stampin' Up. So stay tuned and I will update you on that because it's a lot. Get a notebook ready. Get some paper and pencil or pen. All right, so there we go. Clean and simple and elegant card using the tags. All right. So Lydia and I went to another teammate's card making class. She had card making and lunch. My friend Lynn, she goes by Darlin on with her Facebook page, where you've probably seen her name if you're a regular here. And she, just to say, she's going to be 90 years old the day after my birthday. So December 4th, she'll turn 90. And she had 15 people for card making and lunch yesterday. Very nice. So Lydia and I like to go up and support her with that. So lots of fun. Had a nice day together. All right. So let's look at another way to use these. Let's do the white base with the stripes. Oh, I have one here. Let's put that together. That candy cane look. And let me get the glue on. Those little thin pieces, I don't squeeze glue. I just take what kind of pools up and then I spread it on the thinner parts. So like I said, this is a good candidate for adhesive sheets, but I just wanted to crank a whole bunch of these out last night so I'd be ready for you. We had the grandchildren over, so it was a busy day. I left my house around 9:15 in the morning, got back about 3, and sat and had a cup of tea and got some dinner and bedding ready for the grandkids. He came over and had a nice time. One went off to karate today. I'm going to flip this around this time, use the back side. And the other is downstairs with Grandpa, having some fun. She said she wanted to stay and play with Grandpa. Well, my grandson went to karate. Grandma made homemade waffles today. It was lots of fun. Always love having those guys here. Okay, I'm going to show you how this white ribbon works up on top here. Oop, it's a faux ribbon. We talked about that with the grandkids today, actually, faux. This paper ribbon. Now this I did do on adhesive sheets. And I'm going to put this against the red here. I don't know if you can see this, but right here in the middle is that small piece I was telling you about. Okay, it's a teeny tiny rectangle and it has some vertical lines on it as if that's the ribbon getting crunched up in there. So this can be layered and you have what looks like a double bow. Oops, so you get that in the camera, then you can see it. Okay, so I am going to put that on there, but I'm not going to use this one just as a regular tag because the back of this is going to be sticky. So we're going to put this on a card. So I'm going to wait to take that apart. So we're going to do a card first. And this time I will use colored card base. So we'll do 8.5 by 5.5. scored at 4 1/4. Okay, and then we have white base. Actually, I'm going to cut this down a little more. This is my standard white layer, but I'm going to cut it down to 3 1/4 by 5, just so we have a little bit more of the red showing. And cut off an extra 1/4 inch. So it'll be kind of a little bit more bold, because this is a bold look, and I want a little bit more of that showing. Okay, and then what I would do is I would emboss this as well, and maybe put a little sentiment down here. So I could put it on an angle like it's a actual gift. I had thought of that too, actually, to put some ribbon both ways, as if the gift was tied. So that could be kind of cute too. So I will do that one up and show you that later. But is that fun? Has that little candy cane look to it. Maybe you could even make a little pocket or something and stick a candy cane right in there. That would be adorable, right? And put your sentiment across there. So I'll finish that one later. Okay, I have a lot to show you, so I'm not going to do all the cards all together. So I thought, in looking at the poinsettias, I thought it would be fun to, instead of have red poinsettias, have the pink colored ones. So I used the petal pink. And let me just clean off my stamp here so I don't get that messy on anything. And I'd like to put it away right away, because you know what happens, especially with the photopolymer. And Stampin' Up is going all photopolymer now, so get used to doing that. Otherwise, they stick to everything. All right, there's our other tag. All right, tons of things here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I thought it would be really pretty to have pink poinsettias there. All right, so let me glue that together. I'll flip this over so the stitch side it's the back, but it's kind of like the outside. It doesn't get hidden on the inside, and it doesn't randomly show through on the poinsettias. Okay, little dots. Dot, dot, dot. There we go. That is the back, right? Yep. I just thought that color combination so pretty. And all right. And then I will use, let's see, what ribbon should I use here? I have peacock ribbon. But, wait, hold on 1 second. Well, I found my my old olive ribbon. That's a little dark for all that, isn't it? Well, we'll use it for something else. Okay, so here's some. Oh, this is shaded spruce. Never mind. Never mind. I did have peacock ribbon, but we'll do something else for that. But anyway, I just want you to see all the different possibilities here. And then let's try one with, again, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but here's just another idea. Taking these wide strips from here that fall out, the little ones, don't go crazy with that, forget that. But the wide strips, to me were kind of worth saving. I know I'm crazy, but then you can just put those on a tag as well. If you have multiple colors, you can mix them up. Looks a little barber Polish, but maybe you could mix up the order of the spacing and it won't look so much like a barber pole. But anyway, that's an idea. Or use them on a card for a border or something like that. You can go straight across. And so that, like I said, they came out of these pieces here. So I just cut a whole bunch of these so I could make up that design, right? Okay, now let's try let me see what I was wanting to do. Oh, this is, I was taking this one and I was showing these to my grandkids this morning. I said, come look at the Christmas tags I'm making. And so they were coming up with their own ideas. Don't you love it? So I took out some of the doves from the Peace on Earth set. And look how pretty that looks on there. To put a dove there and maybe put the peace sign underneath that. So another fun idea. I'm not putting anything down permanently right now because I'm not sure where I'm going with all of these, but these are just some suggestions. I'll leave these up here like so. And oh yeah. Oh, we're gonna touch out today. Oh yeah. Okay. Christmas tree hunting. Yeah, isn't Morgan a pretty name? I like that. Family name, grandma's maiden name, my daughter Jessica. Oh, isn't that nice, Susan? Okay. Next. My goodness, so many options. Oh, yeah, here's my red. I did go in red. And I did not do the middle on this one because I wasn't aware and I threw it away. And I didn't have adhesive strip on the back of this anyway. So, all right. So another thing you can do, obviously, is use your specialty designer paper and just cut the open tag and make some pretty tags like that. What I would do is I would take thick white cardstock or color, and probably white if you want to write on the back of it, and then make another tag just like this and back it up so that it's more stiff. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that in a second. So let me, if I cut 2 inches here, then I can get 3 out of that in a row. So let's do that. 2 inches. I always like to think of the most efficient way to cut the paper for either making strips or die cutting. Goodness, aren't these all so pretty? I love them. Love that Traditions of Christmas designer paper. Very, very nice. Okay. So now for this, we need our number 1 plate. We need the clear plates. We need the number 2, the white, thin white one. The number 3, I need to order new plates. I did place a big order for new products. As a demonstrator, we can pre-order new products about a month early. Now, the new products are coming out in January, so we're able to order them now. So more than a month early. And notice I'm putting this in on an angle. I'm not going to get that big hump big lump. And we'll roll that through. All right, move that over, do it again. So I spent a lot of money on new products and I expedited them so I can have them to show you sooner, and I can have them ready for my in-person gathering on Saturday the 29th. So after you're done with your Black Friday shopping and all beat, come and relax with me if you're local. We'll do a couple of projects, have some snacks, and I'll have a whole bunch of things out for sale for my retired stash. So I'm calling it Black Friday and Birthday Bash. Since my birthday's the following week, and I will be giving you the gifts of some fun creativity and being able to get some things at a really big discount on top of the Stampin' Up Black Friday sale. All right, so this I'm going to glue down to this. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love it. And you know what? I really love the light blues, like the Pool Party Balmy Blue with the red poinsettia and the Secret Sea background. I just love that blue, dark blue contrast on there. Wouldn't always think of that yourself, right? And of course, you got a classic plaid on the back here. So I'm going to put this down here so that makes a more sturdy tag. And then as a fun little gift, you can put multiple layers on here, tie them together with your ribbon, and it could be kind of like a little, like a bunch of little love notes, or put as many as you want on there, little Bible verses or photos, and they can just kind of swing apart. If you wanted, you can, if you have a whole bunch of them, you can put them on a little binder ring. I don't know if I had one around here at one point. Wasn't even thinking of using it for this, but that's an idea, right? So you can do that. Let's tie this one with some twine, because that would be thinner and the pile of tags can swing better. One thing I was saying at my team meeting the other night, we use this twine as well. This is black and white and gold baker's twine. All right, Stampin' Up twine usually is, I call cotton. This one, did I say on here? It's 80% polypropylene and 20% something else. Something else. So it's more almost nylon-y. And I find that sometimes it's hard for it to stay together, whereas cotton kind of grips better. So what I like to do before I pull my knot completely tight, you can either put a little glue dot in there, which is what I'll do, or a dot of liquid glue. But I'll do the glue dot. It's a little less messy, I think. Okay. There we go. There we go. I'll use my pick tool. Stick a little glue dot right in there where it's going to get tight. Kind of ball it up a little bit. And then that will help hold it close. All right, so now it's kind of like a key ring. You know, you could put a variety of things on there and have some loose tags. All right. If you wanted, I guess you could tie it a little further down. That might make more sense, right? Yeah, I'll try that. Try it without a glue dot. At least the top one has a glue dot. Okay, just a little further down. Here you go. All right, we got a double knot. Okay, so I thought that's a cute idea. Of course, you could use the front and the back to put more on there if you want, but that's kind of a fun thing. You can even put that on a card if you like. And then let's take another one of these guys, and I'm going to mount it on there. I'm going to cut it here. This is also from that same Traditions of Christmas paper. Oh, good idea, Lydia. Turn them into ornaments. I love that idea. Very nice. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to fussy cut around the top here to make it look like a bigger layer tag. Now, if you notice, these are sort of rounded. They're not exactly straight. So if you feel confident enough, you can kind of round these a little bit. I wouldn't suggest using an actual corner rounder punch because that would be a bigger curve. So maybe if you had a bigger paper, maybe it would be okay. You'd have to experiment with that. But for now, I'm just going to fussy cut up here just to make another layer. I'm going to kind of round this a little bit. Okay, so keeping those corners rounded a little there, and I'll attempt to do a similar thing here. Not too bad. I'll have to work that one a little bit better, I think. Little tip there. Okay, so that looks really pretty that way. I'll glue that down. Then, of course, you could do multiple layers of that, right? You can make a bigger one if you like to. So that's all good. And then that can certainly go on a card. I'm not going to do the whole thing again, but I will do some up later. You get the idea, right? That could be part of the card front. You can go this way, have your sentiment. You can either punch another hole in there if you like and tie your ribbon through, or just tie a bow and stick it on, or use the paper. Use the paper die cut and just stick it over there like that. All right. So, like I said, I will do these all up later. I'm not going to take the time right now. But I will just leave this here for our display purposes. And then, of course, let's see, where was the blue I was going to do? One good die set to use for these tags, a lot of these from the more messages would fit on these tags, or they'd be easy enough to cut down, and you have some skinny ones, wide ones, oval ones, banner ones. So if you do have this, make sure to use cardstock that measures 6 1/4 by 4 1/2. If you use just a quarter piece of the cardstock, some of these are going to overhang it. So I'll show you what I mean. So 6 1/4 by 4 1/2. So let me do 6 1/4 this way. Right about there. Okay, just so you know, in case you didn't, on the Stampin' Up paper trimmer, it goes to 6 here, and then over here on the white part, you see 6 1/2. If you look very carefully on the gray part right here, you will see your 16th and 1/8 and 1/4 inch measurements. So they're actually there. It might just be a little trickier to see because it doesn't have the white background, but the grooves are there. You can use that to measure. Okay. So we have, which way did I go? 6 1/4 is this way, by 4 1/2. Okay, so if I were to use just a regular quarter sheet, well, this one happens to be a little less because I use it for a layer, but are we on? Are we on? Can you see me now? Okay, we lost contact. Oh, okay. Let me see. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Okay. Oh, there we go. All right, we're back. I hope you guys are still on. I'm sorry, my computer battery pooped out and I wasn't plugged in. I have to remember to stay plugged in. Okay, so like I was saying, if you take just a regular quarter sheet, it's going to be especially too tall. It might fit wide, but it's going to be too tall. These are going to hang off. So use those measurements that I said, 6 1/4 by 4 1/2, and then it will fit. So once you run that through your machine, let me do that quick. You don't have to use the messages. You can just cut them out as labels and have a bunch ready to go. Okay, so look at all these labels, all different shapes and sizes. Of course, if you wanted those other messages, you can certainly stamp it and then line it up and cut them all out, and they're ready to go. So these can work beautifully on the tags. It's okay if they overhang a little bit. They could fit on there as long as you have sentiments to fit, right? So this is one die set that I really, really love for this kind of reason. Have a whole bunch of them. This is a 1 3/4 inch circle, which also can fit nicely on there. You can stamp your sentiment there. Let me put these aside. I have a little bin over here with some random pieces. I'm going to pull out a pine cone and this is from the branching out die set. So some of these could be fun to use on these labels. I'm going to put these over here. Ready to go for another time. And I love, like that, I love this blue here. So if I were to do a card with that, it might look something like this. I'm going to just start, and you can come back and look at the finished one later. So I would use this blue as a layer. Let me trim that down just a little bit. 5 and have, and I would probably put another layer, maybe embossed underneath it, just for a little added interest. And we can use, here's that other one I wanted to use. Oh, so pretty. Look at that. So simple. And you can add a sentiment like that. You can stamp it right on there. I love this one with the script that says the Merry Christmas. Over here, the Jolly Holly. You can do Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, joy, whatever. Okay, a lot of bright and happy Christmas wishes. So that's another fun one to use for the tags. But look how pretty that is. And then, of course, we can add, if you wanted, with your sentiment, you can add some little pine cones or little things as embellishments to kind of stick them out like that. So come back and see all these ideas kind of pulled together into some cards. And my idea for this one is cutting this into diagonal and then using my tag as the focal element on there. So this is the back side of this pretty paper. I hate to cover it up. I want to use both sides, but anyway, just going with a more country plaid farmhouse look. So that's going to be fun there. So lots of ideas, folks. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the possibilities and imagining some more yourself. Oh, this is one thing I was thinking of putting on this card here too. This was, how cute will this be? Oh, I forgot to do two other things. So don't go away. Don't go away. I have things to tell you. North Pole delivery. This is fun, kid friendly, or just people who like cute little humorous things. The designer paper that has all the little animals driving the trucks with gifts and trees and letters. How cute is that? And then the little pups, adorable, right? So these can be used on your tags also. For instance, I was thinking of, let's say, oh, I just love the look of this here. Oh my gosh, putting a little thing. I love the mix of the shapes, the rectangles and the circles being all mixed together. Oh, it's so pretty. Can't wait to finish that one. Can fussy cut these here. So let's say maybe I want this car, this truck, this little mail truck here. Do a quick fussy cut, put that on one of the tags. Around we go. And because it's kind of wonky, I'm not worrying so much about a perfect cut. You know what I mean? Because they're kind of like leaning forward anyway, like they're rushing. It's just kind of a fun thing. And there we go. I want rounded edges. I don't want that point there. I might get a flat tire, right? All right, so that could fit on one of those tags as well. Look how adorable, right? Okay, so there's that. And then I also, oh my goodness, I'm telling you, it's like it's going down the rabbit hole. And we can look at these cute little animals. Take that 1 3/4 inch punch and punch one of these guys out. Which one would fit best? Well, here's one with the dachshund and the sweater. He's kind of cute. Can't get his whole tail, but that's okay. We know. You know he has a tail. Let's try this guy with the hat and the mail pouch. pair those guys up onto, see how that fits nicely on the tag as well. So punch out something, put them on the tags, bam. You can just put your to and from on the back, mount it with a white one if you like to. So lots of ideas. Of course, you can stamp your sentiments right on the white and decorate them as well. Ooh, all right. So there we go. Let me remind you very quickly about the specials coming up for Stampin' Up. Good Friday. Listen to me. Oh my gosh. Black Friday, a little bit different, right? Black Friday, but starting on Tuesday. Black Friday sale starts Tuesday, coming up, 25th. 25th through December 1st. You can get a lot of basic Stampin' Up products at up to 40% off. I don't have it all memorized and my printer is not working, so I couldn't print it out. Oh, I can look on my phone actually and tell you exactly. I know the paper trimmer, the one that I use all the time and love, this is going to be 40% off. I am even going to get a second one because when I do my classes, I like to have extra people cutting. So 40% off there. I even have a friend that does a lot of prep for me. Maybe I'll buy her one to just keep. That way I don't have to send mine back and forth. So Stampin' Up, that's going to be 40% off. Select cardstock will be on sale. Select adhesives will be on sale. Some at 15% off, some 20% off. I don't have the super duper details, but that much I do have for you. So I'm looking up on my phone so I could tell you more specifically. Okay, Black Friday sale. Okay, 40% off Stampin' Blends. I know I need to update some of my blends, so I'll keep that in mind. Paper trimmer and the blades. If you already have the trimmer, the blades will be 40% off. And ink bundles. All right, so color families of ink, will be on sale. 25% off will be select adhesive. So what they mean by that, I'm not real sure. Maybe liquid glue, maybe dimensional dots, maybe tear and tape, maybe glue dots. I don't know. We'll see. 25% off that. 15% off select cardstock. Okay, that's going to be either from the catalog, no, anything from the catalog or online exclusives or discounted products, will be discounted accordingly. And if you know a crafter, this is a good time to shop for them. They'll say, oh, look how generous you are. And you only have to know that you got the stuff 40 or 25% off, or you can get them more. All right. So, I'm back. Sorry, my computer battery died for a second. I had to quick plug it in, and that takes a little while to recognize. So there you go. Starting December 1st through the 9th, there's going to be a sale, Cyber Monday sale on Paper Pumpkin. And so you can get Paper Pumpkin subscriptions at a discount for the prepaid subscription only, not the month by month pay as you go. But if you pay ahead for 3 months or 6 months or 12 months, then you can get some discounts on that. And that makes a really good gift, a gift that keeps on going, right? It's going to start with the December Paper Pumpkin, though. All right, you cannot skip that. You have to start with the December one. And then, so if you do 3 months, you'll get December, January, February. All right, and then so on. So if you are giving it as a gift and you don't want the person to have it right away, just have it shipped to you, or tell them when it comes, don't open it until Christmas, put it under the tree or Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating. Okay, so so those are going to be I don't know, I think about a third off, something like that. So that's pretty nice as well. My special is going to be, if you spend, since I'm turning 65, if you spend $65 with me during the Black Friday sale, okay, that's before tax and shipping, $65, I will send you a mystery box of retired products. They might be slightly used. It might be brand new. It might be a ribbon that I started but never finished. It might be half a pack of of gems, whatever. It's all slightly used, but still usable stuff. Okay, so it'll be approximately $50 worth of free stuff if you spend 65 with me during the period the 25th through the 1st. If you are attending my in-person on Saturday, the 29th, that's a week from today, then RSVP me. And if you spend at least $30, you can get the class for free. This is going to be a small class, so it's only $10 fee if you don't order. But if you have a $30 or more order, you can get the class for free. I don't usually do that, so you can take advantage of that. All right, so that's, I think, pretty much it. There's a lot going on. Oh, one more card that I made. This pattern here, I put them back to back, overlapped them so that the patterns lined up, and I covered the seam with a ribbon, and now it looks like one whole piece. So nice, pretty tone on tone, just a monochromatic with some pretty gems down there, and the sentiment wishing you and yours all the best. So that's a nice holiday card. That's not a Christmas card. There we go. Now for a giveaway. I suggested that anybody who posted some quilt cards last week after I made the quilts, if you posted in a comment on my Facebook page, you went into a raffle for a prize. I'm going to reveal the winner, and the winner is Fern. She had posted, I randomly, put in the names there. So Fern is going to receive Hues of Blue Flowers. Now, again, this came with a Peace on Earth selection, and again, they call it flowers, but when I look at this, yeah, they are flowers because they're 5 petals, but I almost see stars or snowflakes. I know snowflakes have 6 points, but they can be used in a way that doesn't have to be a floral thing. So Fern is my winner. She posted some really lovely cards, so I'm going to be sending this to her. All right, that's it, guys. I really mean it this time. Okay, so if you have any questions, please let me know. Reach out, come back and look at what I do with my finished projects, and I will pick a winner next week of anybody who posts a card that uses or a tag, either a decorated tag, or a card that uses a tag as a main focal point. All right, so it has to obviously look like a tag, all right, with a hole and a tie or something on the top, or do something creative like this using a tag, and post it in the comments after I post some pictures of today's projects, and then I will randomly pick a winner for next week to win some other bling. All right, sorry I don't have my face shown here, but my laptop camera is not being recognized, so I will work on that for next time. Have a great Thanksgiving if you are watching in the U.S. Wonderful. Be thankful for everything that you do have. May you have many more blessings throughout the year, and spend some quality time with your family and friends. All right, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching. Good luck making your Christmas projects. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye now.